Hi, my name is Deidre Sirianni, and I'm going to take you through a beginner's yoga class today that's going to really get into detail the basic poses of yoga to set you up for success for the classes to follow. So come to the front of the mat, roll the shoulders back, take the feet hip distance apart, and just close the eyes here for a moment. Take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up the lungs, and then just take a big sigh out the mouth. One more time, and let it go. Open those eyes, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees if your legs are tight. This is a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, roll the shoulders back. Nice long flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down, bend the knees here as much as you need to, and step back to a plank position. In our plank, we want our shoulders right over top of our wrists, and we want our heels directly above the balls of the feet. If you find that your hips are lower than your shoulders, you want to lower the knees down, otherwise you're compressing your lower back. Okay, so option one is to lower the knees down, option two is to keep them lifted, weight is shifted forward, we're pressing into the mat with our hands. Our core is engaged, our arms are strong, and our legs are also engaged. From here, with our exhale, we're going to slowly lower down to our belly, keeping the elbows close to the body. Untuck the toes, keep those elbows really snug. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat, keep those shoulders back. Cobra. Core is engaged, protecting the lower back. Exhale, bring the chest back down. Take the knees wide, shift back to child's pose, stretching out the shoulders, the back, and the hips. And just let your forehead rest here, walking the fingertips a little bit more out in front of you, increasing that stretch and drawing the hips back. Take 5 breaths here. Last breath in and out. So child's pose is also a really great place to go anytime throughout your practice when you feel that you need a rest. From here, shift your weight forward onto your hands and knees, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. In our downward facing dog, we want our hands about shoulder distance apart, fingers are spread, so we're building strength in them. But if the shoulders are tight, you can always come into a bit of a wider stance with them. If your legs are tight, you're going to want to keep a bend here so that you're not rounding the back or shifting the weight forward. And we want to look like an upside down V, but it's okay if the heels aren't coming down. Okay, and if you're feeling pretty flexible and you can strain the legs and you're feeling comfortable here, that's okay too. From your downward facing dog, you want to look somewhere between, either between the knees or to the belly button, whatever is the most comfortable for your head. With a lot of beginners, they tend to look forward because the instructor is teaching and they want to find out what they're saying, and they also want to see what they're demoing. But by shifting the weight forward here, you're putting a lot of pressure in the wrists and actually creating tension in the shoulders. So just come back into your downward facing dog, relax, and take a deep breath in and out. From your downward facing dog, you can just paddle out the legs a little bit, bending one knee, lifting the heel up, and then switching, drawing that heel down and lifting the other heel up. And you'll do this a few more times, just warming up those legs. Come back to stillness, inhale, reach that right leg up behind you, flex the foot. Try to keep your hips square. From here, you're gonna draw the knee forward and try stepping and placing the foot between the hands. A lot of the time we can't quite get there. It's okay to use your hand to bring it forward. Check in that the front knee is right over top of the front ankle, and from here you're gonna draw your back knee down. Okay, so actively squeezing the thighs towards your midline. Inhale, reach the arms up, low lunge. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can keep the fingertips down and just roll the shoulders back. The main part of this is really to get the stretch on the left side, and if you're not feeling that stretch, it's an indication you either have to shift your weight more forward, but making sure that front knee isn't tracking past your toes, or take the back knee a little bit further back. Holding here for 5 breaths, relax the shoulders, don't hold any tension. Good. Exhale, release the hands down. Tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat. Power into your legs. Inhale, come up into a high lunge. Again, check into your alignment. The front knee is right over top of the front ankle. The back heel is lifted. If your hips are really tight, though, you can bend the back knee, which will give you a little bit more space to work with. Holding here for 3 more full breaths. Exhale, release the hands down. And from here, we're gonna take the back foot to align with the back of our mat. Okay, so I'm checking into my front heel. I want my front heel to align with my back heel, or if it's more comfortable, your front heel align with the center of the back arch. Okay, from here, power into your legs. Keep a nice bend in the front knee and windmill up to your warrior 2. In your warrior 2, it's really common for the front knee to want to collapse inwards. I want you to use all your strength to make sure that that kneecap stays in line with the second toe in, so you don't do any damage to the knee. We're pressing into the outer edge of the back foot and bending deeply into that front knee. Depending on how tight you are, you may be a little bit higher, and then over time you'll start to sink, and once you feel more comfortable in this pose. Take your tailbone, and we want our tailbone to face our back heel, so pointing towards our back heel. Perfect. Take the arms wide, roll the shoulders back, and from here, we're gonna look over that front middle finger. This is your warrior 2. Holding here for 1 more full breath. Perfect. From here, engage the core, hinge forward at the waist. Place your front form to the inside of the front thigh and use that front form to roll the thigh back, so again, that knee isn't collapsing forward. Sweep the top arm up and overhead, reaching the fingertips as far forward as you can, and draw the top shoulder back to open up the chest. And you'll just look right in front of you, or even up to your fingertips if that feels okay for the neck. One more full breath. Engage the core, slowly come back to your warrior 2 and straighten your front leg. This may be too wide of a stance for you as we move into triangle, so you can heel toe that front foot a little bit closer to the front of the mat. From here again, arms come wide, take your front hand to the crease of the front hip and press the hips back. And then use the core and gently transition into a triangle. So the goal here is to stack both shoulders and have them in line with the wrist. So nice long line here. We're not dumping our weight into the bottom hand. We're actually using our arm to just press into the leg and use our core to maintain this. Again, you can look forward or just up at the fingertips. Inhale, come back up to stand. Take both feet to face the side. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and roll the shoulders back, keeping the elbows bent to prevent hyperextension. With a long flat back, come into a forward fold. Again, if your legs are tight, bend them. And then you want to try squeezing the palms together, opening up that chest. And then when you're ready, you'll just release the hands down into your wide-legged forward fold. A lot of the time what I'll see is people's hands won't quite come down to the mat when they're new to yoga, and it's because their legs are really tight. So I just encourage you to heel toe your feet a little bit further apart and place the hands down. And if still that's not working, you can use 2 blocks and prop up on that. And from here, you're just gonna bend the elbows and try relaxing here into your wide-legged forward fold, maybe coming into some gentle movement. And try shifting the weight forward onto the balls of the feet. Bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees if you need to, and come up with a long, flat back to stand. Good. Take both feet to face the front of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands down to the mat. Step back to plank. Again, we're gonna flow through. So we're in a plank position again. Lower the knees down if you need to, or keep them lifted. We're lowering through chaturanga is what this is called. Elbows stay close to the body, the chest, and the hips come down at the same time. Untuck the toes, moving into cobra, elbows stay bent, or upward facing dog, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, you can push through child's pose, or move straight into your downward facing dog. Again, take a few big breaths in here, and out. Inhale, extend the left leg up behind you. Exhale, draw the knee forward and step and place the foot between the hands. Lower the back knee down, and again, either keeping the fingertips down or reaching the arms up towards the sky. If it feels okay for the back, you can even look up towards the ceiling and move into a bit of a back bend here. Exhale, release the hands down, tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee off the mat, power into your legs. Inhale, come up into your high lunge. Again, actively squeezing the thighs towards your midline. One more full breath. Exhale, plant the hands down and adjust that back foot to align with the back of your mat. Check into the alignment of your front knee, and then windmill up to your warrior two, other side. Everyone's warrior two is gonna look a little bit different, so don't worry about looking exactly like the t-shirt because our structure is different. But again, what's important is our front knee right over top of our front ankle, and that we're lunging forward with that front knee and it's not tracking past the toes. Roll the shoulders back. Good, one more full breath here. Engage the core, hinge forward at the waist, place the front forearm down to the inside of the front thigh and sweep the top arm up and overhead. Again, drawing the top shoulder back and breathing here into the side ribs, into the belly, and into the stretch. One more full breath. Engage the core, come back up to your warrior two, straighten the front leg, and heel toe the front foot a little bit closer to the front of the mat if that's more comfortable for you. Take the front hand to the crease of the front hip and slowly transition into your triangle. If you find that you're locking your front knee, you can keep a little bit of a bend into it. And again, just check in that you're not collapsing into that left side. If you are, use your core and lift yourself out of it. One more full breath. Engage the core, come back to center, take both feet to face the front of the room. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back to your plank. Again, modify if you need to. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, knees wide, big toes together, child's pose. Walk the fingertips forward, draw the hips back and down, feeling the stretch along the sides of the armpits, the upper back, mid back, and in the hips. Allow the forehead to become heavy on the mat. Staying here for the next 5 to 10 breaths. From here, use your core. Look at the belly button, and as slowly as you can, roll up to seated, letting your head be the very last thing to come up. Good, take the knees together, roll the shoulders back, and together let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Big exhale. Good job, everyone. Those are the basic poses that you'll need to get started with your yoga practice, and I look forward to practicing with you.